Again, good morning. This morning's hearing is a code of conduct violation accusation against Ms. Sophia KIRTSOPOULOS. Is that a correct pronunciation?
Yes, it is, sir.
Okay, thank you. My name is Dr. Thomas Bailey, and I will have the rest of the committee introduce themselves and acknowledge the fact that this meeting is being recorded so that we all understand that the recording will be available after the meeting is finished.
My name is Denise Wolverton, and I'm a member of the committee. My name is Dr. Patricia McKenna. I'm on the committee, and I acknowledge the speaker code. My name is Megan Farrell. I'm not a member of the committee. I'm from the Office of Legal Affairs, and I acknowledge that this is being taken recorded.
My name is Dr. Roger Davis. I'm representing the university, and I acknowledge that this is being recorded.
Ms. KIRTSOPOULOS, would you please?
My name is Sophia KIRTSOPOULOS. I'm a fully disabled 40-year-old undergraduate student only needing 7 courses lower level to complete the degree in History and Government through the University of Maryland, University College via the Internet. And there is nobody representing the disabled but the disabled person.
Do you acknowledge?
I acknowledge the meeting, sir.
Thank you. This meeting is started at 10 o'clock. We have scheduled up until 3:30 this afternoon. There are water and snacks available if anyone is interested. Again, the Code of Conduct violation that we are considering today are Policy 151, Section 3, Items B, F, and S. We will go through a series of questions.
Can I have a copy of that, please? Ms. KIRTSOPOULOS asks.
Copy of the policy.
And please circle what is being charged.
There are arrows that are specifically on that. I will be the only person who will be asking questions of you. Dr. Davis will be presenting on behalf of the university. If the committee members have any questions, they will be passing me their questions. Please, if anyone needs a break, let me know, and we will take a break so that any personal discomforts can be avoided and taken care of. I would like to thank everybody for being here today. So, let's begin. I have a couple questions. Is there anything else I'm leaving out, Megan? Okay. Ms. KIRTSOPOULOS, I'm going to have a problem with this, I know. KIRTSOPOULOS, right?
Sir, you shouldn't acknowledge that you're going to have a problem with it because you forced a disabled person to bring countless. You should have practiced. You just acknowledged to the tape recorder that you're going to have a problem with the, what about my last name, the syllables? Do you understand what kind of comments Professor Cook made?
I'm not, at this point in time, worried about that. What I am worried about are several behaviors that have occurred that I would like to propose to you.
You're going to have a problem. Is that what I heard you say? That you're going to have a problem pronouncing my last name over a couple of times?
Correct. I have a dry mouth, which is going to cause that.
I've just added reflux disease to the list of my injuries. I don't really care about your dry mouth. And furthermore, there was a point in time, are you wearing an earring?
Yes, I am. And the relevance?
There was a point in time, sir, where people could not wear earrings. So basically, you did something wrong to a disabled person at a cost of $2,000, and you're wearing an earring. Continue. What's your name, Mr. Bailey?
Dr. Bailey.
Dr. Bailey.
On December 21st, 2006, around 9:05 a.m., did you speak with a Ms. Gomillion?
I believe the contents of the order of that should go, sir. Did you speak with your advisor, Leah Seastrom? What exactly is Ms. Gomillion's title? Ms. Gomillion Gomillion did not answer the telephone.
Did you, in fact, call Ms. Gomillion?
Dr. Bailey, did I do that randomly? Was there a reason for the phone call, sir?
I am asking a question. Either you called her or you did not call her.
I was told to speak to the communications department. The person who answered the telephone did not answer the phone by their name. So basically, Aaliyah Seastrom stated that I needed to speak to the communications department, and I am not at this time going to reach for any emails. Aaliyah Seastrom said that I needed to communicate with the communications department. Whoever answered the telephone to the communications department on December the 21st at whatever time that you say, I spoke to somebody in the communications department when I received a Federal Express document, a certified letter coming on the same day, and regular post. 2 names were in those 3 documents, a Gomillion. Then, what came on the email first, nobody ever. And you banned classes for technology reports. How are you acclimating yourself to the technology? I never in my lifetime received an email address posted envelope. So first of all, you did something that elevated the blood to my neck. Then I pressed on the computer and saw an envelope. Then I went further and I saw documentation. What you did concerning all remnants of post was unheard of to me because, as I said, you are assessing technology. I phoned your offices, and your offices, similar to your testing, run by a Miss Wolf. They did not answer the telephone with the appropriate names. I don't know who I spoke to.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That answers one of the parts of the questions. That being the case, then I think it's probably more appropriate that if we hear from the university side of the house through the university representative as far as what precipitated the code violation and the activities therein. So, Dr. Davis, would you please provide us with what the university...
Dr. Roger Davis, I am representing the university in this case. I'm going to give you an overview of some of the incidents for the committee. You spoke to our administrative assistant and explained to her a complaint you had with the testing center. The call was unsuccessful, and you therefore called the administrative assistant in the School of Undergraduate Studies a bitch. The call was then terminated. You spoke to the testing director. The call in reference to your testing issues. The call became agitated. The call was unsuccessful. You called the testing director a bitch. The call was terminated. You threatened to contact outside employers of our faculty and of our staff. You have spoken to the assessment director at the university. The call was hostile. You called the assessment director a bitch. The call was terminated. You have sent repeated emails to various employees at the point in which we have deemed the emails spam, and it has interfered with the work of the university. You have been in contact with advising, student affairs, government affairs, legal affairs, the assessment department, diversity, disabilities, SAS, the School of Undergraduate Studies, and the testing center. That is the university's case.
Can I speak now, Mr. Bailey?
Certainly you can speak.
I understand, Mr. Davis, that you represent the university, and as I initially stated, there is no one here to represent the disabled. The University of Maryland, University College, understood who they were accepting as a student. When this initially started, number one, the University of Maryland, University College did not provide me with a transfer coordinator to the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. You continuously do not want to answer that. Number one, sir, you have listed off a number of departments. You have implied that I should not be calling them. Furthermore, you have implied that I should not be calling them at a cost of $2,000 a course. Furthermore, you have not chosen to rethink the statements that you made and prepared before you walked in the door, because when he said that he had dry mouth, I don't care about his dry mouth. You've added reflux disease. This is my new permanent voice if I called somebody a bitch. Let this be clearly understood. Number one, I am permanently disabled. There was no reason for the course of events that happened. I do not know who on your faculty. I didn't rub anybody the wrong way. All I did was investigate some dollar homesteading in Baltimore City. I'm not going to go walking around unless you screen your employees. How do I know who I rubbed the wrong way? Number one, you did not present an unbiased statement, Mr. Davis. You did not bother to say that the student lives 400 miles away. You did not bother to say that the University of Maryland system has built and constructed test sites closer and within a radius of commuters. Their test site is free. Now, since you have done what you have done to me, I have kept abreast of what goes on in the Washington metropolitan area. So basically, you as a community are still arguing that the cost of tuition is exceeding the cost of income between mother and father and the salaries that are being paid to small business. You as a community are arguing that tuition cost is rising faster than the cost of the income coming into the house. It would appear to me that you found a very easy person to fight with. Furthermore, you said that this could have been done over the telephone. I have at least 4 letters that state that. You've also stated that I've called people a bitch. So obviously, it wasn't going to work over the telephone. Now, these are photographs you forced as a group because you cannot continuously say, we are the state and then we are not the state.
Screen those, maybe.
What did these have to do with? What do they have to do with what? Did you bother to ask anybody who you accepted as a transfer student? Did you accept credits from the University of Maryland, Baltimore County?
I think we can answer that. I think we should answer that.
Go right ahead.
Yes, we have. We have accepted you as a student.
How many people are enrolled at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County from Prince George's County?
We do not know. We are not the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. We are the University of Maryland University College. This case is about the University of Maryland University College.
So you're through with the statement, sir,
Yes,
Mr.
I am.
Davis.
I do not know. I'm answering your question. I do not know how many people are enrolled from Prince George's County that go to UMBC. No, I do not know that.
So basically, you're done with the statement that you made.
Yes.
Who do you represent?
I represent the University of Maryland University College.
So you don't represent the University of Maryland University College via the Internet. You as a no, you don't. I specifically asked you whether or not you were done with the title statement.
Yes,
You never said University of Maryland University College via the Internet. You didn't.
We are all in one, face-to-face and internet. We are University of Maryland University College,
You are all
period.
in one then. You did not. You are all in one. So basically, you accepted a student who I did not complete the semester at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. It was hostile for me to continue in that environment. So basically, you accepted credits, you looked at a transcript without thought of nothing, and now you want to double-team me once again, not as a social work major, but as a history major. You really want to do that to your history. It's your history. You did not tell me in the course of my complaints, you did not tell me that when I go to pick up those binders, of which nobody from the University of Maryland University College, you denied me a transfer coordinator. That was somebody's job.
Yes, okay. Do you want us to, are you submitting these pictures as evidence?
No, I am not.
Okay. Then you can just return them to the student. We don't need copies of whatever they are.
No, you don't need copies of whatever they are, but furthermore, sir, those documents concern housing from the 1920s. So basically what you've just implied without asking, after I've said to you, Mr. Bailey, that I am now a history major as opposed to a social work major, you stated, say yes or no, you stated that you don't need pictures of whatever they are. Is that what you said?
That's certainly what I said. It's on the recording.
Then basically,
Let's move on.
no, sir. You basically said that you do not not need documentation of platoon schools from Baltimore City, the internal migration of race within the state of Maryland, fully documented in 1930. You also said that you do not need the redevelopment of blight, relative cost, Commission on the City Plan, Department of Defense housing, segregated, non-segregated, colored, white. That's what you said, sir. I'm just letting you know what you said no to.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
Yes, I know you do.
Okay. Now, I will ask the question, since I have heard the university representative give me the indication that certain things did take place. On December 21st, you did make a phone call to the School of Undergraduate Studies in which you were seeking, I guess, communications
About testing
about
issues.
testing. Okay. At that time, the person who answered,
The gentleman who answered the phone did not answer by his name. We also, at the beginning of the semester, with, I believe, a Stringfield Moore, we had a problem within the financial aid office where she began to laugh and she said, I cannot go through with this anymore, as if the experience was a joke. Was it a joke that you audited me? Was it a joke that you further audited me? I sent Social Security Disability Statement of Income, which is the Department of Labor. I was further audited to verify fact. So basically, you do understand by the end of all of this, as a former salesperson to the University of Maryland College Park, my gut is never wrong. You have sent me documentation released from your transcripts, which also is a violation if somebody falsifies or asks for a bribery of transcripts. You've sent documentation to my house on Friday stating that I was never enrolled in the University of Maryland University College via the Internet. You've also said it's going to be documented as spam. Look, as I said at this point, I have countless complaint letters to countless individuals stating that my policy paper for the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, revolves around service learning. So now, as a history major, you have a collaboration democracy collaborative. You have a Knight Ridder organization that is community-based, service-oriented based. So for the most part, I'm not going to receive any of anything from your university. So if you want to continue to attack me after somebody has said to you, now we have Bailey, Farrell, and Davis, you've added reflux disease to my condition. As I said, and you said what you said, we don't need a copy of this.
during any time
you have yet, in the course of my 22-year enrollment with your university system, you have yet to ask me any of what my interests were. I hail from the backyard of Governor Nelson Rockefeller, who I believe may have had a little more global insight than you. Okay? So I have to believe that my kindergarten through the 12th grade was structured in a certain way. As I said, you are so... Continue.
Thank you very much. And in the future, please let us finish our statements or our questions before you interrupt.
Well, then there's one more thing. Before you continue and degrade, you did what you did to me this time from inside my house. In the name of God, amen. I, Andy KIRTSOPOULOS, a resident of the village of Tarrytown, Westchester County, in testimony whereof I sign, publish, and declare this as my last will and testament in the presence of persons witnessing at my request on this 18th day of March, 1970. If any beneficiary shall not have attained the age of 21, in my world you become mature at 21. At 21, at the time title vests in him or her, my trustees shall hold, manage, invest, and reinvest and collect the income of such beneficiary's portion and pay or apply to the support, education, and maintenance of each beneficiary out of the trust for his or her benefit so much of the income as my trustees see fit. The education is now to complete through my house. So basically, you fully disabled me. This is a will. I do not care what I said to anybody over work that I initially began in the memory of my grandparents at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, revolving around urban renewal issues.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, I will finish my question. Did you, at any time, during any of your telephone conversations, call a member of the UMUC staff a bitch?
Sir, did you audit a fully disabled person? Did you do that?
You answer my question yet.
I do believe that I cursed.
So you do acknowledge that you did call a University of Maryland University College staff person a bitch?
Sir, as I said, number one, I suffer from dysfunctional uterine bleeding, and all participants reviewed the documentation. I don't think you want me to go to my car and get the pictures of what I go through every morning, furthermore, as a fully anemic person. Do you understand? As I said, the longer that you continue this, you hold non-natives of your state to another level. As I said, I am fully anemic, and I suffer from dysfunctional uterine bleeding. Whatever I said to anybody, as I said, I cursed.
I will take that as a yes.
You can take it whichever way you want, sir.
Yep, thank you. All right. On February 5th, you were sent a letter from the Associate Provost and University Registrar identifying the fact there were 3 violations of the UMUC Policy 151 Code of Conduct.
You yet want to acknowledge a violation inside of an internet classroom. Why would I call you unless something happened? Sir, why do you continuously want, and for the most part, when you hear this voice, it belongs to Ms. KIRTSOPOULOS. Why do you want to build this up? It is no different. That's called building a file in business. You're doing a very good job as a group. You understand that?
In that letter, there was an indication the provost initiated an interim suspension. In that letter, the provost also directed you to only contact one person at UMUC. That person was Ms. Knapp. Do you remember that letter?
You know, sir, I received an awful lot of letters. Let this be clearly understood. Number one, you are structured in a sense as a group, as employees. Your law is so that you can get along as a group. That when you strive to go a little higher, your Miss Farrell or your Mr. Davis is not going to attack you. Now, do you want to explain, as somebody who had 8 years of seniority, by paper number 3 for your university college, do you want to explain how I lost my profit check at your KINKOS down the street, of which that is a store that has a relationship with both the state and the federal government. So for the most part, within, 2 months that I was relieved of a certain duty, this is what your University of Maryland chose to present to my KINKOS, an invoice with no signature.
Ms. KIRTSOPOULOS, if I could ask you to please remain seated, and if you want me to come over and take documents, I'd be happy to do that. Would you like the committee to review these documents?
Let this be clearly understood. You have allowed something to escalate, Mr. Bailey. You will not, for the most part, you will not take social work. You will not take anything from the Enoch Pratt Baltimore City Library. You will not take anything that is history. And if I was to change my major to business, you would not give I am a product of your University of Maryland system, and I am a product of the Board of Regents of the state of New York. Maybe in your world, you have practiced this. You're doing this to me for the first time. My job is to come to your table and collect my money from my store that was my store, KINKOS, because you don't want to pay the bill. So basically, as I said, review the documents, understand that I haven't gone through moot practices, and I am the salesperson. Is that a little bit of money, $5,000? And I'm going to get up and have some water. As I said, I don't think you deserve to be speaking to me in that manner. None of you. You never asked anything face to face. You can treat your colleagues like that for only a bit of time before they sue you. I learned that word at UNBC, institutional racism, said by an 18-year-old boy, and when I questioned, where did you learn that word? Is there anything else you want to do as a group to destroy somebody's credibility in Prince George's County?
No, but I do want to inform you that if you have specific questions that you would like to ask the university representative based on what he has presented, you are more than free to do that.
I have some documents. University of Maryland, University College, PageMaker 5.0. This was not a fake, okay? This really went out into your community. So basically, 500 residents of your university park received this through their children. As I said, I've had countless experiences with your community. The first look fair that was run at that time period by Roberta Coates, for you, Mr. Davis, to say that I've called countless people. Not only was Roberta Coates South Hill resident director, but in order for me to do this first look fair, Roberta Coates was responsible to screen the participants. So the comments of your community are well taken. This is your computer crime from your introduction to the IBM. Did you violate computer laws through the internet? Yes, you did. So basically, don't tell me what my presence was in your community.
Would you like Dr. Davis to look at these or the committee?
You can do whatever you want with Mr. Davis. Bailey.
A little civility goes a long
The
way.
civility, as I said, sir, within your code of conduct, a little civility. Let this be clearly understood. Number one, you violated the student conduct code concerning advisement. You allowed transcripts to leave your facility. That's the post office. Do you understand? Furthermore, in postal fraud, it is listed student loans violations. If you think that that is a joke. So basically, you violated a transcript, and furthermore, you've implied that I was not here for the entire semester. There's a $4,000 student loan. If you go to the internet, Mr. Bailey, it specifically has a category for student loan fraud. Civility is on both sides, sir. So basically, that is your PageMaker 5.0. That is business. Sir, PageMaker 5.0 in conjunction with Business English 394 from the time period of 1994, where you needed to incorporate graphics, but it was not from your computer. If you want to turn around and you want to say that Barbara Jean Callahan, as a professor, was not trained in computer graphics, then by all means, you go right ahead and you do that. Don't you place blame upon me. And I do mean that. Don't do it. Because what you are doing, don't do it. I already know and have called countless organizations. I'm fully aware as a group what you have done. Don't go there. I was not born or educated or raised in your community to be intimidated by your community. not going to do that to me. Ever in life. A little civility, Mr. Bailey.
Ms. KIRTSOPOULOS, I'm going to intercede here. You are being charged with things that you have to address.
Please, sir.
Let me finish.
You are not addressing.
Let me finish. You are being charged with B and F, and you said you called people a bitch at the university. There are other things you've done. You have to, at this time, you have to defend yourself to this committee.
Defend yourself to what, sir?
First of all, sit down. You have said you have called people a bitch. That's why I came to say. I said who you called, the names. You agreed to that. You said that on the tape. You agreed you said those things. We then go to the repeated emails that you have done. We have got to get through this case, okay? You will need to either accept the things that you have done, or we're going to move on.
Sir, did I mention Business English and PageMaker 5.0?
Yes, you did. I don't know what that has to do with you calling the staff members here a bitch. You've called multiple people a bitch here at the university.
What? You have done absolutely...
Let me finish.
Please,
that
sir.
is not civil behavior, and that is not fair to the staff that's here. So you won't get and address the point that the staff does not deserve those types of words being called. They don't deserve that here. Everyone is here to help you, Ms. KIRTSOPOULOS. We are here to help you. Okay?
Oh, Mr. Davis.
And that's what I would like
Are
to
you
do.
done now?
Yes, I'm done. I'm done.
Do you have any respect for your former colleague, Professor Barbara Jean Callahan?
I don't know who Barbara Jean Callahan is.
That is, you acknowledge, look, number one, I am fully disabled. Don't tell me how to stand or sit. So basically, why do you continuously not want to acknowledge a disability? As I said, what you did as a group was intimidate people. That's what you did. Now, as a fully disabled person, you don't want me to stand. Why is that? You do not want to acknowledge that business English course, which was Business English 394, University of Maryland, University College, ITV 10. You've done nothing here, absolutely nothing to investigate why. That's cognitive. Was this student enrolled within your system of the University of Maryland, University College? Mr. Davis, after I was kind enough to say if he was finished with the title of the university, you did say you were finished. So we were not even going to talk about Internet. Now, Mr. Davis, we're going to talk about ITD.
Okay.
Was that yours?
No, I'm not an ITV instructor. No,
No, you're not familiar at all with ITV.
Yes, I know what ITV is. I do. It doesn't exist anymore. I know what ITV is.
So now you want to make me a victim of a technology that doesn't exist for you.
You said what student? You said a student took ITV. Did you take
the university, what I'm saying to you is you've made no effort. What you did was attack me, say that I don't want to take responsibility for anything. That's a lie. Okay. You have done nothing to investigate. That business English revolved, you called the emails that I sent you spam. That business English revolved around Title IX, Education Amendment Act of 1972. That business English course revolved around public welfare, of which you had a person from the University of Maryland system that was on the editorial board of that journal, which has changed its name. You do not want to acknowledge, number one, that I am not a full-time student. The University of Maryland University College enrolls adult workers, adult learners. We do not learn everything that we learn all at once. That business English class, you have milked me for $30,000 wasted dollars, $168,000 of my own dollars expended to defend myself. As I said, that was done through what Mr. Bailey said. You don't want those pictures. $168,000 to find 3 papers from a Mr. Newsom that became the Council on Social Work Education president concerning participatory democracy. Now, I am not going to find a lawyer, but don't ever in life think that you have done something to me. If your main goal in life, Mr. Bailey, was that you wanted to wear an earring in your ear, you've gotten what you wanted out of life. My main goal in life was to get a degree. I bridged your territory from Baltimore City with the Furstenberg Crawford Zabin Studies, and Dr. Agna Khan of the University of Maryland from the beginning in 1972, where Baltimore citizens wanted to take a proactive stance on pregnancy. So basically, you've discredited and discounted my entire work, your structuring of the University of Maryland Business English curriculum, and furthermore, don't you think that the time span of only 13 months before core restructure, why don't you stop to say how quickly you chose to forget technology? So did a lot of other people. You understand? New toys. That allowed me to transfer to UMBC and write 6 or 7 more papers concerning teenage pregnancy, lead poisoning, and the passing of lead through the placenta. That brings us to Title 10 of the Housing Conference Bill of 1992, which is a collaboration between the Environmental Protection Agency and HUD. So you've just basically, you don't want no part of anything. Beginning, EPA was structured in 1979. So what is it that you do want? Just your little internet?
What I want you to do is to address,
You do not
if you
want...
have nothing further to say
I do have
about
one more thing.
calling people.
Sir, who on your staff investigated this matter in an unbiased fashion? Was I enrolled at the University of Maryland University College?
Yes, you are.
No. When did I begin enrollment?
I believe that was 1992.
1990, I believe.
1990.
Okay, as a coworker said from California, so this is civility. It's civility California style, Mr. Bailey. That's common, simple math. How many years, sir, before I called a colleague of yours a name as a fully disabled person? How many years, sir? How many years for the tape recorder?
If you have nothing further,
Sir, that's 17 years.
okay, if you have nothing further to talk about associated with the use of obscene language, which curse words are considered obscene.
Sir,
If you have nothing
what
further
you
to
have
say,
done, oh, please. If you're not even
Dr.
going to
Davis.
give...
thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. KIRTSOPOULOS, if I might say, if you do need to stand because of your disability, please feel free to do so.
Let this be clearly understood. My conversations with you, this is finished, what you have done as a community. What you have done as a community is reprehensible. All right?
All right, let's move on to the next
Let's move
charge.
on.
Okay? On February 7th, you sent an email to Ms. Amanda Knapp, as appropriate, since the February 5th letter instructed you to only communicate with Ms. Knapp. This email included a graphic picture.
That's called dysfunctional uterine bleeding.
Yes.
Do you think that that's funny? Huh?
What I would like to know, is that a personal picture?
Sir, did I state to your organization that I suffer from dysfunctional uterine bleeding?
You made that clear in that email, yes. And I am
Do
asking
you
the
think-
question, is that a personal picture?
Do you think that that's funny?
I am not giving you any indication that I do think it's funny.
Do you think it's funny the amount of pressure that you placed upon my neck?
Please answer my question.
What's the question, sir?
Is that a personal picture?
That is dysfunctional uterine bleeding. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Then that's all you need to know. That, did it state graphic picture? You are doing something to a fully disabled, anemic woman, and you're charging her with something over the telephone. So basically, what is your question? I should be embarrassed as a grown woman? For what reason?
I did not indicate embarrassment.
Well then, that is, sir, that is dysfunctional uterine bleeding.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're
Please answer
welcome.
my question.
Sir, that is dysfunctional uterine bleeding. You as a community, as I said, that occurred, that began in your state of Maryland. So basically, that is one more thing, as I said.
What did that picture have in relationship to with any of your coursework that you were taking at that time?
In any of my courses,
I know
You
that
are
were enrolled
making-
in a history course and two history courses at that particular time. What did that picture have in relationship with those two history courses?
coordinator. The beginning process of the dysfunctional uterine bleeding, we didn't have that comment, sir, from the Social Security disability. I would like these presented. And you don't have to, as I said, you can do whatever you want with it. As I said.
Did the picture have any relevance to the
Sir?
2 courses you were taking?
Yes, it did.
How?
You are aggravating dysfunctional uterine bleeding. Blood is anemia. You are further aggravating the condition. The condition was fully documented and accepted by the Department of Disability. As I said, I think at this time, the only thing that you need is the first page. We don't, if you want to make an issue of that, that is Social Security disability, independently filed by me, the federal government investigating incidences that date back to 1996, of which the date of the disability is March the 6th, 1996. The day that I formally resigned from KINKOS and the day that the Department of Social Work at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, took away my major. March the 6th, 1996. Let it be shown that I showed 450 pages Social Security disability because now all of a sudden Mr. Bailey has a problem with my trying to convey outside of Noel Atwell after I was told that I have contact with one person. I suffer from dysfunctional uterine bleeding. You've done more than enough, all right? More than enough. You do not want to acknowledge that I have 6 herniated discs. You, for some reason, do not want to acknowledge dysfunctional uterine bleeding. I do not know what your statement means. Is that graphic? Do you find a bloating commercial to be graphic? I am not suffering from premenstrual syndrome or bloating, sir. You need to take that comment back. But whatever.
Okay, the February 5th letter clearly indicated that there was only one person you were to contact here on the UMUC campus. Yet, on February 25th, you sent an email to Ms. Zelkine. That was at 9:10 a.m.
I said,
February
Carolyn,
25th, will you please let me finish?
I said, could you give this to me,
February
please?
25th, 2007, 11:03 a.m., you sent another email to Ms. Zelkine. On February 28th, you sent an email to Ms. Zelkine again. On March 1st, you sent a letter to Ms. Zelkine. Between February 5th and March 13th, you left multiple voicemail messages on Ms. Zelkine's telephone.
Sir,
This is in contrary to the direction.
oh, please, your
Of the two of
directions. You have done absolutely nothing. I really do mean it. How many credits do I need, Mr. Bailey, to graduate?
That is not of issue.
Yes, it is. Sir, first of all, you seem to not... Did the American Association of Newspaper Editors, did they speak to me that way out of the most appropriate documents concerning the integration of the newspaper industry, minority issues? Did we get this conflict with them? I was given the most appropriate pages to be able to walk into a library and say that's the initial documentation for research. As I said, you're going to argue your way. None of it is going to belong to you or the University of Maryland or the University College or your new Knight building. I got what I wanted. All right? I have my Philadelphia Inquirers. I have my President's Institute. I have my content analysis. I have the purchase by Mr. Annenberg of the Philadelphia Inquirer tonight press. You're attacking somebody that doesn't need to be attacked. So, as I said, you really think by the end of all of this, we're going to sit down as a 40-year-old person only needing 7 100-level courses? That's not going to happen. Ever in life. You are very horrible.
Are there any others that you have sent emails or voicemail messages to besides Ms. Zelkine?
Sir, I suggest that you go look that up. You've wasted my time for the last... Those are all... What year is that dated from the American Association of Newspaper Editors, sir? What year is it dated?
There is no date.
Well, look at the outside of the envelope.
1978, it appears.
No, sir. The gentleman sent me the document when I was a paper girl for Gad. inside those boxes that are relevant to anything. You've already, as I said, whatever. You have no respect for anything that's inside your libraries. As I said, just continue to go. This is closure. You are a very disrespectful institution.
All right. In that venue, then, I appreciate you identifying that we should probably come to closure because we are probably approaching that point. Let me sum up things here. First of all, you do acknowledge that you cursed at staff members of the University of Maryland University College. That is in direct violation
Sir,
of
you
the
do
code of
not...
conduct.
Oh, please. I'm rising to get something from my bag because I really...
You acknowledge that you sent a graphic picture via the internet into the USM, University of Maryland University College technical systems, which is a violation.
Oh, please.
You also acknowledge through emails and voicemail messages that you have contacted others outside of the person you were identified to contact, which in fact is another violation of the code.
I do not know why you want to paint me the way you choose to paint me. As I said, you did not provide me with a transfer coordinator. At the beginning of this conference, Mr. Bailey, you discounted and discredited those pictures of those binders and the fact that it said Maryland Housing. Basically, if this was the NAACP, you would have been ripped to shreds for that comment. But because the day is going to come, sir, that the NAACP is not going to be run by an English socialist named Mary White Ovington. The day is going to come that one day it is going to be an American person. The color of that person, that's undetermined. You, sir, what you just did, you acknowledge that you have no care or concern for any of the photographs or the documentation. As I said, if I was the NAACP, you would have been eaten to shreds. You need to think about that for the rest of the day.
Are there any questions you have for the committee?
You have done, I would appreciate that going to Mr. Bailey. Number one, you forced a disabled person to paginate 4,999 pages. Let it adequately reflect that Mr. Bailey is male. Ms. Farrell is female, and to be perfectly honest with you, whatever your name was. What's your name? Miss Wilkerson. And your name? Dr. McKenna. You have acknowledged that irregardless of gender, you forced a disabled person to paginate 4,999 pages. You have tried to discredit me thoroughly. That is one reason I never got married, to get divorced in the state of Maryland. So you could try to do that to me as a divorced person who may have been foolish enough to have a child? Do you have any idea of the way that you speak? And why do you speak to me that way? Huh? Number one, the pages needed to be paginated in order to create a table of contents with cross-referencing. As I said, Mr. Bailey, don't ever in life what you have done here. You are no different. By the statement that you have made, I shouldn't have contacted the Attorney Grievance Commission. I shouldn't have contacted the State Ethics Commission. I shouldn't have contacted the Attorney General's office. I should not have contacted anybody. I should become a victim of your domestic violence and not open up my mouth only to have contact with one person. Who do you think you're... Oh, please. Go ahead, Mr. Bailey.
So I understand that you have no further questions of the committee.
If you believe that you have conducted this meeting to reflect the year of 2007, as I said, what you have reflected in this meeting is that, number one, you enrolled a full-time worker at KINKOS Copies based at 4417 Hartwick Road, a company that was one of the largest lawsuits by a publishing house, KINKOS Graphics Corporation versus Basic Books. As the manager or assistant manager transferred from your College Park store to Greenwich Village. I was not told as the assistant manager that there was a lawsuit with a juncture or a judge's injunction of no packets. That, if I changed my major to any other major, would not be welcomed by your institution either. You refuse in almost all instances to, number one, acknowledge that I have a prior education. Any judgment that you have made against me, let it be adequately stated, as I have repeated. You are a segregated state that monitors its integration from community colleges to regular campuses. As I said, the level of what you are as a group, but yet that's your equity. You need outsiders to float your injustices. And then when somebody, an innocent, becomes disabled over it, don't say anything to anybody. As I said, sir, you talk to your wife that way, you talk to your daughter that way, you don't talk to me that way. Because you have refused to acknowledge business English. You have refused to acknowledge that papers were written using KINKOS as an example. As I said, you have done more than enough to attack me. But furthermore, as somebody who will never bear children, I sent you a graphic photograph. I will never bear children over my academic work and a forced commute, 3 herniated discs in my neck, 3 herniated discs in my lower back. I will never bear children over my academic work. I have never met in my lifetime a more selfish gentleman as you. And the only thing that you wanted from your 1960s movement was to wear an earring in your ear. You have the Black Panther Party to thank for your earring in your ear, as does the Women's Studies Department. End of story. That's what you wanted from it. As I said, nobody from your department paginated those pages. Furthermore, by not having someone paginate them, I know my 13 binders inside and out. They are mine. You have fully discredited me. You have discredited me between 2 states. You have done more than enough over lead poisoning. If we are through here, I have a 400-mile journey. You do not want to acknowledge the falsification of transcripts and submitting them through the mail. As I said, you have done more than enough.
Thank you. I must remind you that your suspension remains in effect until the decision of this committee. You can go ahead and call the person to escort Ms. KIRTSOPOULOS back to her car. You are not allowed to return to your premises.
Sir, I have no intent. Sir, let it be properly documented. My credit card is up to $9,000. There's $98 left on an $8,000 credit limit from Sears. There's about $1,000 left on an Aspire credit card. There is about another $1,000 left. All of my creditors increased all credit to get us as far as we got with my paperwork. I have no intentions, and that is one more statement that Mr. Bailey and team, forcing a disabled low income where you asked for verification to your financial aid department. You asked and called me a liar as to my income status. As I said, there is no money for me to rent a car, nor do I have any desire to return to your premises ever in life. Don't think that much about yourselves as an institution. Ever. Let it be adequately stated that it would appear that Ms. KIRTSOPOULOS will leave the University of Maryland University College 10 courses shy in a degree in history and government, which will ultimately lead to a very big argument between the state of New York and the state of Maryland one day. That's my prediction, and my gut is never wrong. that tape recorder off?
No, it's still on.
recording.
You're adjourned. You need to remove your books from the library. That's one more thing. Miss Knapp is the point of contact person. As stated, those books are yours. Where is Miss Knapp to get her books?
She's on the way right now.
Look, whatever. As I said, don't charge me for books that belong to you and have been returned.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. This is Megan Farrell, and I'm signing off from the meeting. Ms. KIRTSOPOULOS has left, and the committee has departed as well.